Hi, my name is Lauren Riley, and happy Women's Herstory Month.
Hi, this is Merlin Oliver, and happy Herstory Month.
So, Merlin and I, we first met in high school, and then we went to college together, et cetera, et cetera. But we created Brooklyn Mavens in 2016 in my house, my apartment, and Merlin had really first introduced it. She was like, we need to get into social media. Um, and we started out as BK Fashion Mavens. And so, yeah, and then in 2018, we rebranded as Brooklyn Mavens.
In 2018, we decided to rebrand mainly because our brand before was only about fashion, and we felt like we wanted to talk about more than fashion. We had more to say on our platform. So we were spotlighting fashionistas in Brooklyn at first, but we wanted to really just talk about Brooklyn in general. So from where to eat, where to go. And I think that's when we really noticed that a lot of like gentrification was going on and a lot of people were moving to Brooklyn. So we wanted to be like the go-to girls for Brooklyn.
So it was important for us to create this platform because with gentrification, we noticed that when people were moving in, they were going to areas like Williamsburg, um, which are some of the heavily gentrified areas of Brooklyn. But although we want to showcase those areas, but it was important for us to highlight Brooklyn from the perspective of natives and areas of Brooklyn that most people were not thinking of or highlighting. Because one thing we really realized once doing Brooklyn Mavens was that Brooklyn is huge. You know, you can be from Brooklyn, but also just stay within your realm of what you know. So it opened eyes for us, but we really wanted to open doors and just the perspective of what Brooklyn has to offer for other people moving in and for natives as well.
Yeah, it's also a platform where natives could actually like speak up. So we do interview like business owners. I think it's really important to share their story, especially since some of them have been like kicked out their neighborhood or the fact that their building has been sold for to get to like another building. So it's really a platform as well for like natives and business owners and people who've lived here before we were even born to really share their story as well.
So I guess I don't think finances were like a huge, and Merlin, you can correct me too, but we weren't like really focused on financing for the most part. I think we did foot a lot of whatever aspects we like were anything that we were getting into. We used to do a lot of shoots, so we were funding that ourselves and with our own pocket. But as we've grown now, there are a lot more just like financial aspects that are involved. And so as of recently, we're trying to just like reach out to places and find areas of where we can get, financially compensated in order to pay people who are working on our team, because we do have a team behind us, and also just like fun activities or just things that we need to do to make the platform even better.
Yeah, I agree. We really didn't have like, I don't think that was the core of our business to like get funding because we weren't like really building anything that we actually need like so much money for. But now that we are growing, I think it's one of the things that we haven't really approached yet, but we're gonna get there. I think in the influencer world in general, not with getting funding, but I think like figuring out what our rates were or like making sure that we connected with other influencers. I think that was probably like one of the only like monetary like hiccup we probably had. Making sure we got paid fairly.
I'd say know your worth. That's really important, and stay on top of your finances. Just because even with what we're doing now, we're getting paid in certain aspects. You know, we're both like handling it, right? So it's important to kind of keep a really good record system of like your finance, what's coming in and what's going out, and just to be just financially savvy, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's really important to really have a community and really do your research when it comes to like if you are looking for loans. Because I even just like during a pandemic, I've seen like people really giving like resources and links. Um, I would say like maybe like Ladies Get Paid might be like a really good resource. Using the hashtags on Instagram and then using your like fellow other like influencers or just literally hopping in someone's DMs appropriately or email to like ask them because some people are really open when they do get loans on Instagram or on LinkedIn or any other social platform. And I think that most of them are really like they will help. So I would say don't be like afraid to ask for help and then like really being smart with your research. I would definitely say off the back, like not even being corny, but my mom. So I'm like the first generation that has like I'm the first one to go to school. I'm Jamaican, so my mom came here in like maybe when I was like 1 year old in the 90s, and she really worked her butt off. She actually just retired, and I can see like from when I was small to like right now, like she really provided the fact that me going to school, paying for me to go to college, and really being there for me. I definitely feel like I've learned a lot from her from being strong and really going for anything that I wanted to do. So that was my mom. Business wise, honestly, from the top of my mind is Jackie Aina because I work in social media, and the other day I was really analyzing her. And then yesterday she literally just posted a reel about how far she's like come. She actually was, I think she was in the Army or Navy before. And then like she had like a divorce, and then she was doing makeup for 13 years. But now she has like a household, like she built a household name for herself from the candle brand to like her other brand, Live Lavishly Jackie. Just in general, her business ideas and like the confidence and everything, like I look up to her.
I would say, for my on a global aspect, I really am inspired by Rihanna. I think a lot of people are, but she hustles so much and she does it authentically, from my perspective at least, from the outside looking in, and unapologetically. So, yeah, I'm always inspired by her just to see all the endeavors that she's, what to see where she's come from her start to where she is now is really nice. And then there's a woman, her name is Krista. She's a chef, and I was introduced to her maybe a year or so before the pandemic. And she, as far as Brooklyn is concerned, she really gets involved with the community. She had a huge push during the pandemic to bring food to people who were probably either got COVID or just in some way has been affected by COVID. And she does a lot behind the scenes. And so I'm inspired by her in the aspect of she's a hustler, but she's also bringing things to her community or just helping out her community. I definitely want to expand. I know one of our goals is to expand outside of Brooklyn, however that would look like. And one of the ways we can do that is when we get our website officially launched. This way it's available to people and outside of social media. For people who don't have Instagram or Facebook, they can rely on our website to kind of help them. And if there's a way that we could bring Brooklyn Mavens to other states and other cities, to just have that platform as a go-to for them, that would be amazing as well.
Yeah, really building the brand in general, because right now I feel like we are really connecting with people that are moving here and natives, but really want it to be like this is the travel guide. Like anyone coming to Brooklyn in general, even if it's for a weekend or a week, should be going to Brooklyn Mavens. Like Lauren said, we are expanding from just having it being on Instagram, but a full-blown website. We don't own our actual Instagram page, so that's very important for business owners out there to making sure that you do have a website, and we do have a newsletter as well. And then one thing that we're working on, which I'm very excited about, is our merch. I'm just really excited to start seeing people rock like the name. Hey, that's how I see the brand growing this year.
I think it has, part of what we mentioned, the website and having our merch. I think we would like to have a bigger team. Because, bigger team means that there's probably more success involved. Um, I think we're in an interesting stage right now in growth. And I feel like in 5 to 10 years, we'd be much more established in in our growth and what exactly, like how we're pushing out content. I'm not sure if that's the best way to answer that question, but Merle might be better at answering it.
Yeah. So when you mentioned content, I'm just like, God, what would social media be in like
Yeah,
10
5 to
years?
10 years.
With the NFTs and the metaverse. So I think one of the main important things, just even mentioning that, is like keeping up with the trends. Right now, I like most entrepreneurs and most like business owners, like we are always in the brand, like we do everything. One of the main things that like we really want to focus on is not just us in the brand, but us like having the team. So not just posting every day and not just like running around, but having people go out into like Brooklyn and people coming back to us, really traveling and sharing more about like what Brooklyn has to like offer besides like the things we do now, and really like connecting with other like big brands, like the Brooklynites, or like just doing more volunteer work as well, and really having like an impact on the community. And it would be really, really cool, like in the next 10 years. Of course, you mentioned funding. Like we had like even like a location where people came and really connected with other people. I think that would be like really cool.
One thing too, I would love for us to be like more philanthropic, and I've been saying this for a while, but I think in 5 to 10 years, that could be something that we can look into. Just because if we're focusing on Brooklyn, then also why not? Like we help our community in ways of highlighting local businesses, but I think there are other ways in which we can help our community for people who don't necessarily have businesses.
Yeah, exactly. Like, God forbid, like another big pandemic happens, like we can actually raise money for like local businesses and people who actually need it. Lips Cafe, I just even that whole like that trio, I don't know if people know, but like Lips Cafe on my uncle's Rogers Garden. Um, as someone who's lived in East Flatbush for like all their lives, I've never seen anything like this in the community. And even just passing by on the weekends, no matter like what time of day, what time it is, it's always packed in there. So like Lips Cafe specifically, I can go in there and work all day. They are jamming like music. It's definitely a place where people can go and have events. And I just love the fact that they're in the community serving really good bacon sandwich and lemonade. And I'm so excited that they have their liquor license as well. So that's one of my top, I would say.
I think for me, I think because it remains so prominent in my household is the BK Circus. My dad has like 4 of their varsities, and I wear his varsities as if they're my own. But I also remember Brooklyn Circus when we were in high school, and like all the cool guys were wearing their clothes. So it's interesting how like I think our brand has a connection with them, and it's just nice to see where they were and like where they're going or where they're at now, because they've had collaborations with Macy's. They've had a few collections with Macy's, and so yeah, I think that's one of my favorite brands, just because it's kind of remained prominent in my life in some aspects since I was in high school. It's not anyone who's a celebrity. It's by my mom, and it's not like she didn't make up this quote herself, but her quote is "closed mouths don't get fed," and she used to always say this to me. And as I've gotten older, I've definitely I always keep that in the back of my mind, right? It's not easy to ask for things or just to tell people when you need help, but I've seen from like my own personal experience and from others' experience that if you don't open your mouth and ask for what you want or just express how you feel about something, then nothing's going to come to you. How can anybody read your mind and know what you need? So it's really important to open your mouth and ask for things. And the worst that someone can tell you is no, and you're just in the same space that you were in before. So you might as well ask for what you want, because you never know what that can bring you.
When someone asks me like just a quote that I do live by, my mom says, if you're going to do it well. So as a true Jamaican mother who works really, really hard, everything that I do, I like try to do my best in it. So even from when I was smaller, like just learning how to write like scripts or like anything I did, she would like let me do it over. She was like, that wasn't your best. So I still like live up to like that quote, as a true like Virgo and perfectionist as well, but also making sure I don't really be too hard on myself. But like knowing that if the day went like hard, like if today was like a hard day, like I did my best today. So, yeah, that's one of the quotes I live by.
I think I would tell myself to be patient. I still am telling myself that. And to give yourself grace, because, I don't, with this age of social media, it's always easy to compare yourself. I know that's, like we always talk about that, but it's just best to give yourself grace and not to be too hard on yourself, like Merlin said. Just because, one, life goes on. Two, I've realized that no one actually knows anything in this world. So
Like,
you might. So yeah, give yourself grace and to be patient, because with any good thing, it takes time. So you don't want anything rushed in your life. And this way, you're able to appreciate it more when you can look back and see where you started.
go ahead, Lauren. Go ahead and preach. Oh, mine is to follow your gut and really like hone in and listening to like yourself and what you want to do. I feel like there were so many people telling me like what to do, what career I should go into, and of course it like messed up with exactly thinking like what is the best career for me from like college, from getting out of college. So I definitely learned that around like mid-20s that I should like really follow my gut in general with everything that I do, from relationships, friendships to like career. Because when something doesn't feel right, it's because it's for a reason. And like chill out. So everything happens for a reason.